Yeah, I think we should just do a quick introduction of the crew. I'll start with myself. Hello, I'm Lungle Hlengani.
Hi, I'm Tando Shabang.
Good evening, guys. My name is Oravile Matibe.
And by the way, I am Given Makubedu.
My name is Khahliso Theko.
Good evening, distinguished guests. Today we gather to delve into this intricate layer of one of South Africa's most notorious corruption scandals, the Bosasa corruption saga. I, Lula Hlengani, and my colleagues, together we embark on a journey to uncover the genesis and repercussions and imperative lessons from this grave episode in our nation's history. And I'll pass it on to our second speaker to go over the background and context of this situation.
To understand the gravity of the Bosasa scandal, we must contextualize it with the broader socio-political landscape of South Africa. Bosasa, formerly known as South African Global Operations, wielded considerable influence as a facilities management company catering to government entities. However, beneath its legitimate facade lurked a labyrinth of corruption allegations ranging from bribery to fraudulent tender processes. These revelations shattered the illusion of integrity, exposing a persuasive culture of corruption that had seeped into the very core of our society.
I will be elaborating on the web of corruption government implications. At the heart of the Bosasa scandal lay a tangled web of corruption ensnaring high-ranking government officials and Bosasa executives alike. Shocking revelations emerged of clandestine payments exchanged for lucrative government contracts and preferential treatment. The scale of corruption laid bare was staggering, eroding public trust and perpetuating a cycle of impunity. It became glaringly apparent that systemic deficiencies in oversight mechanisms and ethical governance had facilitated such egregious malfeasance.
So I'll talk about the implications on the public sector. The Bosasa scandal sent shockwaves through the private sector, reverberating with implications for businesses large and small. Companies face heightened scrutiny and skepticism from consumers, investors, and regulatory bodies alike. The erosion of trust in corporate integrity tarnishes reputation and undermines market confidence. Moreover, the Bosasa saga underscores the urgent need for private companies to adopt stringent ethical standards and robust compliance frameworks to safeguard against corruption.
And I'll be about accountability and reform in the private sector. In the aftermath of the Bosasa scandal, the private sector must heed the call for accountability and reform. Companies must fortify their internal controls, enhance transparency in business practices, and prioritize ethical conduct at all levels. By cultivating a culture of integrity and accountability, the private sector can play a pivotal role in restoring public trust and fostering a corruption-free environment conducive to sustainable economic growth.
All right, so thank you guys. I'll be just touching up on the preventative measures in the private sector. Then thereafter, we'll speak about which ethical dilemma it falls under and which ethical theory is evident in this case right here. So preventing future occurrences such as this, companies must collaborate with regulatory authorities and civil society organizations. By embracing transparency and accountability, the ethical governance, the private sector can mitigate such risks of corruption in the business ecosystem. And I'll give it to our second speaker to speak about the government responses and reforms and so on.
In response to the Bosasa scandal, the government has undertaken measures to address systematic weaknesses and restore public trust. Investigations have been launched and legal proceedings initiated against those implicated in corrupt activities. However, addressing the root causes of corruption requires more than punitive measures. It necessitates systematic reforms to strengthen government frameworks, enhance transparency, and bolster accountability mechanisms within government institutions.
Regarding transparency and oversight are paramount in safeguarding against future instances of corruption. Governments must prioritize transparency in procurement processes, ensuring fair competition and accountability in the allocation of public contracts. Additionally, independent oversight bodies must be empowered to monitor government activities, investigate allegations of corruption, and hold perpetrators accountable.
Based on civil society and media as a whole, civil society and the media play a crucial role in exposing corruption and holding government and corporate entities accountable. Their watchdog function serves as a check on abuse of power and malfeasance, shining a light on corrupt practices and advocating for transparency and accountability. Governments and businesses must respect and protect the freedom of the press and support the work of civil society organizations in promoting good governance and combating corruption.
In conclusion, as we reflect on the Bosasa scandal and its far-reaching implications, let us reaffirm our commitment to the principles of integrity, transparency, and accountability. Only through collective action and unwavering dedication can we hope to eradicate corruption and build a society founded on justice, fairness, and the rule of law. Let us stand united in our resolve to combat corruption, safeguarding the integrity of our institutions and ensuring a brighter future for generations to come.
Okay, thank you guys. And I think right now let's just discuss which ethical dilemmas did we see in this case here with Bosasa, and which ethical theories were implemented here. And yeah, I think let's just hand over to the second speaker to just discuss the ethical dilemmas and yeah.
Under ethical dilemma, I think the Bosasa corruption scandal optimizes a profound ethical quandary entrenched in organizational ethics and citizenship. As its core lies the conflict between the pursuit of profit and the imperative of ethical conduct. Bosasa, once a prominent player in facilities management, succumbed to corruption through bribery, fraudulent tender processes, and preferential treatment. This transgression not only besmirched the integrity of the organization, but also corroded public trust and inflicted harm upon society. Upon application of ethical theories, I think we can apply the virtue theory. Virtue ethics eliminates a deficiency within Bosasa's organizational culture where individuals prioritize self-interest and financial gain over virtues like honesty, integrity, and accountability. The erosion of moral character within the organization contributed to the proliferation of corrupt practices and betrayal of public trust.
So further discussing on the ethical dilemma, now let's explore the ethical dilemma of the Bosasa scandal further, focusing on its implications for government and governance. So the Bosasa scandal reveals a tangled web of corruption within the government, implicating high-ranking officials and Bosasa executives alike. This ethical quagmire underscores the systemic deficiencies in oversight mechanisms and ethical governance, which facilitated such egregious malfeasance. The conflict arises between the duty of government officials to serve the public interest and their temptation to engage in corrupt practices for personal gain or political advantage. Now, applying one of the other ethical theories, the deontological ethics theory can be applied. The deontological ethics condemns the actions of government officials and Bosasa executives involved in corrupt activities, as they violated fundamental ethical obligations and duties. By betraying the trust of the public and disregarding the rule of law, they undermine the very foundation of ethical governance and democratic principles.
So, continuing the discussion, let's examine the Bosasa scandal from the perspective of utilitarian ethics and strategies for resolving ethical dilemmas. Application of ethical theories. Utilitarian ethics. From a utilitarian standpoint, the corruption at Bosasa resulted in widespread harm that far outweighed any perceived benefits. While the company may have gained financially in the short term, the long-term consequences included the erosion of public trust, economic instability, social unrest. This underscores the importance of considering the broader societal impact of organizational actions and the inherent moral responsibility to prioritize the greater good over individual gain.
Discussion on resolving strategies. Now let's explore strategies for addressing the Bosasa scandal and similar ethical lapses. Resolving the ethical dilemma. The RIMS strategy for resolving ethical dilemmas provides a comprehensive framework for addressing the Bosasa scandal and mitigating similar ethical breaches in the future. To recognize, we must first acknowledge the ethical issues at hand and their far-reaching implications for stakeholders, including employees, shareholders, and society at large. And by identifying the root causes of corruption within organizations, such as weak governance structures and ethical lapses, we can begin to implement targeted interventions to address systematic deficiencies. Manage. Implementing corrective measures such as strengthening internal controls, enhancing transparency, and fostering a culture of integrity is crucial for managing and preventing future instances of corruption. Strategies. Developing long-term strategies, including education and training programs, whistleblower mechanisms, and stakeholder engagement initiatives is essential for promoting ethical conduct and corporate citizenship. By adhering the RIMS strategy, organizations can navigate ethical dilemmas effectively and uphold the principles of integrity, transparency, and accountability in their operations.
All right, thank you, everyone. I think you guys explained yourselves very properly, and I'm sure people listening really understood what we're saying, and I think we can end it here. Thank you very much, colleagues. Thank you.